Everyone, you might find this a little bit weird, but I can't tell you my name. My story might seem familiar to some of you, as it has become the talk of many YouTube users lately. Anyways, you can call me Alice. And if any of you know my real name by the end of the story, do me a favor and keep it a secret. 2 months ago, I used to have one of the most famous YouTube channels, but today I hardly browse my Facebook and Instagram accounts. And it is all because of my best friend who destroyed everything that I had created, all because she was jealous. I was raised in a house with my two twin brothers, my mom and my dad. My dad was a bank manager and my mom was a fashion designer. So our financial status was great and we loved to travel. I think it's safe to say that I lived a life full of adventure and happiness. And my story with the YouTube channel began 2 years ago when I came across a famous YouTuber. She was this girl my age that gave fashion and makeup and happiness tips, but her tips were pretty average. And I thought to myself, why don't I create my own YouTube channel? Because unlike that other girl, I at least had good taste when it came to fashion, and I was actually pretty skilled at doing makeup, and a few tips couldn't hurt anyone. So when I first posted my very first video, I couldn't believe the number of views that it received. The comments were seriously motivating, and so I decided to continue with my little YouTube venture. However, the video that received the most views was a video that my mom made a guest appearance in to share some fashion tips. And without a doubt, my mom's fame was what made that video so popular. My channel was no longer really a fashion channel. One thing led to another, and I started to post videos about my travels around the world with my family, and my YouTube fame made me even more popular among my school friends. Like, everybody wanted to be friends with me. When it came to my friend who ruined my life, we could call her Jennifer. We had never actually been friends before I started my YouTube channel. Our friendship only began afterwards, and I guess you could say we had similar interests. Jennifer used to follow me everywhere, she was like my little sidekick. I mean, the moments that we spent together were easily some of the best times I've ever had. Like, every month we'd have a sleepover at my house, but for some reason I was never invited to her house. And then one time Jennifer asked me to shoot a dare video with her, which I was pretty hesitant about at first because it's not the kind of content that I posted on my channel, but eventually I decided I was up for it. So before we shot the video, she asked me if she could use some of the outfits that my mom had designed, because she didn't have anything appropriate that she could wear. I mean, I was only wearing like a pair of jeans and a shirt, but I figured she just wanted to look nice for her first video. So whatever, she was probably anxious about what people would think of the way that she looked, and I didn't really mind because my closet was overflowing with my mom's designs anyway. So we started shooting, and I noticed that Jennifer was acting a bit strange on camera. Like, not herself at all. We were shooting a dare video, so it was supposed to be funny, but Jennifer was acting all serious. It was like she had her guard up, and it turned out to be one of the least successful videos on the channel. After that video, things went downhill. All that Jennifer talked about was how she wanted to be a famous and successful YouTuber just like me, and I gave her some tips, but she always said things like, I wish I had a mom like yours, or I wish I had clothes like yours, or I wish I could travel with you to those amazing places. And it was totally understandable, and I kind of felt sorry for her, so I gave her some of the clothes to keep. Slowly but surely, Jennifer started spending more and more time at my house, and she started getting really close to my parents. Almost like they were her parents too, which I didn't mind because Jennifer was always nice to me, or that's what I thought. She kept bugging me about appearing with me in other videos, but this time I put my foot down. There were not going to be any more dare videos on my channel. Soon, Jennifer's appearances in my videos became pretty normal. Like, the views weren't as much as they used to be, but eventually I got my viewers to accept her, and that made her so happy. And I was really happy for her too. I loved my channel so much, but I didn't let it change my personality. I mean, I wanted to stay that spontaneous girl that everyone had loved from the beginning, And soon it kind of started to bother me because Jennifer had changed. Like, she looked down on people who weren't as famous as her, as if they were worthless. Like, this one time, we went to have ice cream at my favorite ice cream truck next to our school. And even though it was a small, pretty simple place, it had the best vanilla ice cream ever. And what I liked was that there was no place to sit next to the ice cream truck, which meant that we had to have our ice cream in the street. And eating street food is like one of my favorite things to do. But Jennifer never wanted to come with me. Like, she was too good to eat from an ice cream truck or something. I only managed to convince her to come with me when I said that we could make a great video out of it. The ice cream man was super nice and he knew me really well. So I turned the camera on and started recording the ice cream truck. And once it was my turn to buy ice cream, the ice cream man said to me, "Of course, the beautiful lady wants vanilla ice cream." And he laughed. But when it was Jennifer's turn, she wasn't nice to him at all. In fact, she was downright rude. Like, she grabbed the ice cream from his hand, looked right at the camera, and said, "Let's get away from this disgusting place, please." And I could not believe her. There was no way I could post that video now. The ice cream man looked really sad and was humiliated that I'd filmed it. I didn't know what to say. My nice friend had turned into some kind of monster who didn't care about anyone's feelings except her own. So I stopped posting new videos for a while because I had exams, and that bothered Jennifer so much. One day, she came over so we could study together for the math exam, but she was such a distraction. She just kept staring at my camera. And then suddenly she said, "Hey, what do you think about shooting a video where we mock our math teacher?" But of course I didn't agree. Why would I ever do that? I can't be mean to others just for the sake of making a new video. That was the first time that I had a serious argument with Jennifer. I just couldn't deal with her anymore. And she thought that I didn't want her to appear on my channel anymore. And she ended the argument by saying, "Fine then, I'll start my own YouTube channel." And that was how my best friend started her own YouTube channel. And from that moment on, my life just crumbled. From the beginning, I didn't like the content that Jennifer posted on her channel. I never even subscribed to her channel, even though she was my best friend at the time and I still hung out with her a lot. But once the camera was on, she would turn into a totally different person who did not care about anything other than being famous, no matter the cost. So after the exams were finished, my family and I planned to travel to Paris. I was so excited. It was my first time to ever go there. While I was chit-chatting with Jennifer and the rest of our friends at school, I mentioned that I was going to spend my vacation in Paris and that I could not wait. So Jennifer looked at me as if she was going to say something, but she didn't. And I thought maybe she hadn't said whatever it was she wanted to say because all of her friends were there. So when I went back home, my father approached me and told me that he'd bought an extra plane ticket for Jennifer so that she could join us on our trip to Paris, and that he'd also booked a double room for me and her. Now, this was supposed to be our family trip, like it was every year. I mean, Jennifer was close to me and my parents at the time, but not to the extent that Dad would buy her an airplane ticket without asking me beforehand how I felt about it. I thought it was a bit strange, but it wasn't a big deal, right? Well, turns out it was. Jennifer joining us was a bad idea, and none of us could have anticipated what she had planned. She was extremely excited, like annoyingly excited. Once she was on the plane, she started recording everything around her. She even recorded my twin brothers while they slept on the plane. In Paris, she followed every step that I took, like she was my shadow or something. And whenever I tried to record something, she would record it too. And she also wouldn't stop nagging and complaining about literally everything. She not only spoiled the trip for me, but she also ruined the video of my trip that I'd planned ever since I first heard that we were going to Paris. With Jennifer there, Paris was no longer magical. But that was the least of our problems. When we came back from our trip, we had barely slept the night before and were extremely exhausted. And when I was finally ready to sleep, I woke up to hundreds of texts and emails that were sent to me from my friends and the subscribers of my YouTube channel. Half of those messages were people insulting me and calling me and my family hypocrites. They called my father the worst names that anybody could think of. And the other half asked me for an explanation for what they saw in the video, which Jennifer had posted on her YouTube channel the day before. what video were they talking about? I jumped out of bed immediately. I played the video that everybody was talking about, and it turned out that it was the video that she recorded for us while we were asleep. And I couldn't believe what I was seeing. She was crying in front of the camera, claiming that my dad lured her to Paris after he convinced her that I wanted her to join us on our trip, just so he could harass her, and that she was terrified and didn't know what to do. At the end of the video, she said that she miraculously survived my beast of a father.